Imagine walking into your dream home, only to discover it's a money pit in disguise. Ouch. But fear not, savvy house hunters. We're about to arm you with the ultimate weapon: knowledge. You're about to become a home inspection ninja. No more surprises, no more regrets. Just smart questions and savvy decisions. Ready to outsmart the real estate game? First-time buyers, listen up. Your home inspection is your golden ticket to avoiding costly mistakes. It's not just a formality, it's your secret weapon in the home buying battlefield. So, what should you ask during a home inspection? Buckle up, because we're diving into the nitty-gritty of smart questions that'll make you look like a pro. Let's start with the basics. How old is the roof? Seems simple, right? But this little question can save you from a world of hurt and a ton of cash down the road. A roof typically lasts 20 to 30 years. If it's nearing the end of its life, you might be in for a hefty replacement bill. Ka-ching! That's not the kind of surprise you want after moving in. Next up, what's the condition of the electrical system? Old wiring can be a fire hazard, and outdated electrical panels might not handle modern energy demands. You don't want your dream home to turn into a toaster, do you? Ask about GFCI outlets in wet areas like kitchens and bathrooms. These little lifesavers can prevent electrocution. Safety first. Now, let's talk plumbing. Any signs of water damage or mold? Water is sneaky. It can cause major damage before you even notice. And mold? That's a whole other can of worms, or should we say spores. Don't forget to ask about the pipes. What material are they made of? Some older homes have pipes that are ticking time bombs. Lead pipes? Run for the hills. Speaking of running, let's jog over to the HVAC system. How old is it, and when was it last serviced? A well-maintained HVAC system is like a happy puppy. It'll keep you comfortable for years. But an old, neglected system? That's more like an angry bear. It'll growl, it'll cost you a fortune, and it might just leave you freezing, or sweating, one day. Are there any pest problems? This question might make you squirm, but it's crucial. Termites, carpenter ants, or other creepy crawlies can cause serious structural damage. And let's face it, nobody wants roommates that have more legs than they do. Unless you're into that sort of thing. No judgment here. Here's a biggie. Is the foundation solid? A cracked or shifting foundation is like bad posture for your house. It can lead to all sorts of problems, from sticking doors to major structural issues. Look for cracks wider than 1/4 inch. If you see any, it might be time to bring in a structural engineer. Better safe than sorry, right? How's the insulation? This question might not sound sexy, but good insulation is like a cozy blanket for your house. It keeps you warm in winter, cool in summer, and saves you money all year round. Poor insulation is like wearing a bikini in a snowstorm. Sure, it might look good, but you'll be miserable and broke from high energy bills. Now, let's get nosy about the neighbors. Are there any easements or encroachments? This legal jargon is important. You don't want to find out your neighbor has the right to drive through your backyard after you've moved in. And speaking of yards, is the property in a flood zone? This little tidbit can affect your insurance rates and might even require flood insurance. Don't let Mother Nature catch you off guard. Any known hazardous materials? Asbestos, lead paint, radon. These are the boogeymen of home ownership. They're not just scary, they can be dangerous and expensive to remove. If the house was built before 1978, lead paint is a real possibility. And asbestos? It was used in everything from insulation to floor tiles until the 1980s. Yikes. Let's talk about the less obvious stuff. How's the water pressure? Low water pressure can be a sign of bigger plumbing issues. Plus, who wants a wimpy shower after a long day? And while we're at it, is the water heater up to snuff? Nothing ruins a morning faster than a cold shower. Except maybe realizing you need to shell out for a new water heater. Here's a sneaky one. Are there any unfinished renovations or unpermitted work? The last thing you want is to inherit someone else's half-baked DIY project or deal with the city over permit issues. Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but what happens in a house becomes your problem when you buy it. What's the deal with the windows? Old, drafty windows are like money flying out of your wallet. They can also let in moisture, leading to rot and mold. Not exactly the view you were hoping for, huh? Don't forget about the less glamorous parts of the house. How's the grading around the foundation? Poor grading can lead to water in the basement faster than you can say, Noah's Ark. And speaking of basements, any signs of water intrusion? A dry basement is a happy basement. A wet one? That's a recipe for mold, mildew, and a whole lot of headaches. How's the attic ventilation? Poor ventilation can lead to ice dams in winter and overheating in summer. It's like giving your house a fever. Not cool, literally. Let's talk about the great outdoors. Any issues with trees or landscaping? That beautiful old oak might look majestic, but if it's diseased or too close to the house, it could spell trouble. And don't forget to ask about the soil. Any signs of erosion or soil movement? Unstable soil can lead to foundation problems faster than you can say, sinkhole. Here's a question that might save you from future neighborhood drama. Any known disputes with neighbors? You're not just buying a house, you're joining a community. Make sure it's one you want to be part of. What's included in the sale? You don't want to fall in love with that fancy chandelier only to find out it's not staying. Or worse, move in and realize the previous owners took the appliances with them. Let's get technical for a moment. What's the age and condition of the main systems? We're talking electrical, plumbing, HVAC. These are the unsung heroes of your home, working behind the scenes to keep you comfortable. Don't forget about the roof support system. How's the condition of the rafters and trusses? These are like the skeleton of your house. If they're weak, you could be in for a world of hurt. Here's one that might surprise you. Any history of underground storage tanks? These can be environmental nightmares if they leak. It's like having a ticking time bomb buried in your yard. What's the deal with the garage? Is it just for cars, or has it been converted into living space? If it's the latter, make sure it was done legally. You don't want to buy a 4-bedroom house and find out it's really only 3. Let's talk about the less visible parts of the house. How's the condition of the chimney and fireplace? A neglected chimney can be a fire hazard. Not exactly the kind of warmth you're looking for in a home. Any issues with drainage or standing water? Poor drainage can lead to a swampy yard, foundation problems, and a breeding ground for mosquitoes. Talk about a buzzkill. Here's a question that could save you from future headaches. Are there any upcoming assessments or zoning changes in the neighborhood? You don't want to buy your dream home only to find out they're building a highway through your backyard. How's the air quality? This might sound like a question for outdoorsy types, but indoor air quality is crucial. Mold, radon, or other pollutants can turn your dream home into a health hazard. Don't forget about the exterior. What's the condition of the siding and trim? These are like the skin of your house. If they're in bad shape, it could lead to water damage and a host of other problems. Here's a biggie. Any history of insurance claims on the property? This can give you insight into past problems and might affect your own insurance rates. Knowledge is power. What's the age and condition of the major appliances? You don't want to move in and immediately have to replace the fridge, stove, and dishwasher. That's a recipe for instant buyer's remorse. Let's talk about the nitty-gritty. Any issues with the sewer line or septic system? Trust us, you don't want to deal with backups or a failing septic tank. That's the kind of crap, pun intended, that can ruin your day. How's the overall energy efficiency of the house? This can affect your utility bills and your comfort. An energy-efficient home is like a well-oiled machine. It runs smoothly and saves you money. Here's a question that might save you from future surprises. Any planned developments in the area? You don't want to buy for the view only to have it blocked by a new apartment complex a year later. What's the crime rate in the neighborhood? Safety first. You want to feel secure in your new home, not like you're living in the next true crime documentary. And finally, is there anything else I should know about this property? This open-ended question can reveal issues you might not have thought to ask about. It's like a catch-all for potential problems. Remember, knowledge is power in the home buying game. Ask these questions, and you'll be well on your way to making a smart, informed decision. Happy house hunting!